It's that time of year again. It's the season of Valentine's Day, the season of love and flowers and chocolate-covered strawberries. But right now, somewhere, sometime soon, there's going to be a brand that makes a consequential branding blunder. They are going to break up with their brand. It could be a clean breakup, a new brand, a brand that propels them into a new era of growth and prosperity. Or the breakup could go poorly. It could be a breakup that is dragged out, dirty, people are hurt, it leaves the company confused. No one knows what's going on anymore with the brand. Rebrands are hard. We know this. And so for Valentine's Day, while you might be watching the movie Crazy Stupid Love, we're going to do a segment today called Crazy Stupid Rebrands. Welcome, everyone. This is Spiraling Up with Hinge. Welcome, everyone, to the Spiraling Up podcast, the podcast for professional services, marketers, and business leaders. My name is Austin, and once again, we are here in the Richmond podcast studio together with Mary Blanche Kramer.
Hey, Austin.
And Joe Pope. How are we doing? We're here in Richmond with our, some old stomping grounds for
That's
you, Joe,
right.
as I understand it, and Mary Blanche. I mean, you live
close.
nearby. You guys got a lot of history here, but we have been, in Richmond for a few days now, spending time together,
That's right.
frequenting some breweries, some old lunch spots.
That's right.
It's been a great time so far.
Yeah, the Spiraling Up podcast crew has a lot of connection with the university or VCU. It was where I went for undergrad. Nothing to do with podcasting. I was a biology pre-med student. So shout out to the School of Science and School of Life Sciences here at VCU. But Mary Blanche, you've got something that's a bit more relevant right now. You're here at VCU getting your MBA.
Yep. Getting my MBA, class of 26. And actually, we have Tamika here with us today from the Brand Center. She's getting her master's at the Brand Center at VCU. So, yeah, it's a lot going on.
Well, I love all the Richmond connections. It's been, like I said, just a great time spending time with you guys, filming a few episodes of the Spiraling Up podcast. For those listening, for those watching on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe to the show if you haven't done that. Leave us a review. It really helps support the show. Right. We've got a really, I would say, dynamic, experimental show today. We know the topic is going to be all about rebranding. Mary Blanche, you came up with a really creative game, so why don't we get into that?
Let's do it.
Whoa, hold on. Before we get into our great segment here on Crazy Stupid Rebrands, I want to take a moment and say that if you still haven't downloaded Hinge's new 2026 High Growth Study Executive Summary, you're going to want to do that now. This free 40-page report talks all about how the fastest growing professional services firms, what they're doing with their marketing, what is their strategy, what techniques do they put more effort in, where do they see the most marketing impact. It's free, and it's on our website at hingemarketing.com/HGS. There, you just put in your email, and you get the free report, and we hope you find it useful. All right, so listeners of the show will know that we've had kind of a recurring bit going on the podcast now for, I think this will be our third episode, right? And I don't know how we stumbled into it, but we have designed a few episodes around these classic romantic comedy. We did an episode called 10 Things We Hate, not about you, but about websites. We did not how to lose a man in 10 days. It was how to lose a lead in 10 days.
How to lose a guy in 10 days.
Okay.
That's
okay.
The rom-com expert.
I am not the romantic comedy expert that you are.
Yeah, you said, how did we stumble across this? It is because I'm
100%
in
Joe's
love with rom-com movies.
There you go. Okay. So today, right, we are going to do a segment called Crazy Stupid Rebrands. And of course, this is a play off the hilarious Steve Carell and Ryan Gosling movie, Crazy Stupid Love. And Mary Blanche, you planned this segment for us today. Why don't you tell us how it works?
Okay, let's do it. All right, well, we spent all morning dissecting some of the most baffling, what were they thinking, rebrands in history. And now it's time to see if we can do any better. So today we're playing a game called Crazy Stupid Rebrands. And if you've ever played the game Apples to Apples, you'll know the setup. But we've given it a little bit of a corporate twist. So in the center, we're going to have a deck of branding blunder cards. And these represent those classic rebrand fails that we all love to hate. We also each have a hand of solutions cards. And these are going to be our strategic fixes and the ways we try to mitigate the disaster to save the brand. So each round, we'll flip over a blunder card and play the best suited solution from our hand. We'll talk through which fixes would actually work, which ones could make things 10 times worse, and how we would really handle the fallout. You guys ready to give it a shot?
I am so ready to give this a shot. This is one of those ideas that I feel like really works because we're in the studio together, and so I'm really excited to dive in.
Yeah, I don't think this would work if we were just on our computers.
Yeah, not as well,
Not
but
with
hey,
cards, yeah.
No, but we got props.
we're pretty creative.
Thank you, CVS at Richmond.
So I've got the bowl of blunder cards here, right?
Yes.
Branding blunder.
Branding blunder cards
Branding
here.
blunder cards.
So should we get started? Should I just pull the first one and then
Yeah.
we'll go around and pass it around? All right. These are all mixed up, by the way. So
Did you
let's-
strategically mix them?
Huh?
Did you mix them beforehand?
I'm mixing them right now.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Hold on.
Oh, just-
I'll just you want to pick the fruit?
for the listeners at home, he is mixing.
I'm
He's
mixing.
mixing the bowl.
Okay. I'll read the first blunder card, and then why don't we discuss which solution is the best for us to put towards it.
All right.
All right. So this one is called the Groupthink Gang. So the leadership team is launching a brand purely based on their gut feelings, or how about vibes, right?
Yeah, the vibes.
Ignoring research that shows that they likely have an 80% gap in understanding of who their actual competitors are. The vibes-based rebrand. So, guys, what solution would you maybe put down for this? And then we'll decide which one we like the best.
I mean, I think everybody who's ever touched a rebrand in the business-to-business world has kind of run across this type of thing. What was the percentage of 80%?
80% gap. Yeah, I mean, I think most, the idea is that the marketplace is full of competitors. Sometimes we don't have a good eye on that. And so without secondary research, right, and you're going into a rebranding exercise, if you're not really looking around, if you're not trying to, if you're not talking to your customers, if you're not looking at the competitive environment, again, it's just kind of vibes. Like, I just feel like we need to change the name or do this or that. And I don't know, it seems risky to me.
It does, which is why we have these amazing solution cards.
Yeah, so which one do you got, Joe?
Well, I have the scientific strategy solution card,
Oh, okay.
which basically says that everything that you just described in that branding blunder is being erased because we are going to ground every branding decision in research facts rather than subjective gut feelings of partners.
Okay.
So I got to erase everything that they came in there.
What about you, Mary Blanche?
Well, on a similar note, Austin, you summed it up pretty well, but I went with independent client research. So hiring an impartial third party to interview clients and prospects to eliminate the 80% competitor perception gap.
Interesting. Okay, so you guys are kind of both playing like a research forward.
We are
We're
erasing.
anti-vibes.
We are erasing their vibes with good hard data.
You can't play this every round now, so you're getting rid of your research cards now. I might hold on to mine.
I think I'm going to hide it. It's going to come back out.
I'll play the high growth differentiators. Now, can you get to good differentiators without research? Maybe not. So maybe I'm making a big mistake here. But when we talk about rebrands or any kind of brand strategy, we're really thinking about what makes our company different and stand apart in a meaningful way. The way that we measure this is 3 criteria. Mm-hmm. Is it true? Is it relevant? Like, do people care about it? And is it provable? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like 3 legs of a stool, and if you take one of them out, then
it falls right over.
It kind of falls over. So it's the key part of the brand strategy. So I think for the groupthink gang that just is trying to make a vibes-based rebrand, I would want to I'd want to like pause and be like, okay, can we at least try to identify what are our real differentiators? But I will also say that without good research or a science-based strategy, what you were talking about, that might be hard to do.
Well, I think if we brought all 3 of these to the table, we are more than acceptably averting this crisis, if you will, of the vibes-based rebrand.
Okay, but who do we think has the best answer? Because we've got to give someone the point here.
I think we're going to give it to Mary Blanche. She's referencing an independent third-party agency that can do research as part of a rebranding decision.
Thank you very much.
I even know of one of those agencies. And if you'd like to talk to me about it, feel free to reach out, Joe Pope.
All right, Joe, why
HingeMarketing.com.
don't you pull our next branding blunder card here?
We are stirring the bowl again. For those who are not enjoying us on YouTube.
Let's create a discard pile.
Where's
the
discard? Well, just throw it?
Yeah, throw it on the
ground.
ground.
Sorry to mess up your studio, guys.
Just throw it on the ground.
All right. Throw it on the ground. All right, I've drawn the next one. This branding blunder is known as the 50 Shades of Blue safety net. we're keeping the movie theme going.
Yeah, we
I guess
really
technically
are.
it was a book first.
I don't think that's a romantic comedy, though.
No. It's,
Go ahead.
It's definitely not.
There's some romance involved in that movie, but not,
Move on,
not
move
the comedy. Okay, we're moving on. All right. A shareholding partner insists on using a shade of blue, if you will, in the brand identity because every other competitor does this. Interesting. So they want to use blue because they're afraid of looking different. I mean, there's the obvious challenge right there. Anytime you do something like that, it makes it impossible for prospects to tell you apart. And part of a good branding engagement is differentiation. We talked about differentiators.
Yep.
So how are we going to avoid the crisis of 50 Shades of Blue?
Okay. Mary Blanche, which option do you have?
Oh, y'all don't go to me first. This is a tough one for me. I don't have a great one for this one, but
All right.
you go.
I'm ready.
You
Okay.
start.
So if we're feeling more risk averse, and I think that's, there's nothing outright wrong with that, especially for maybe brands that have a rich history. They have a strong, identifiable brand strategy or brand assets. I understand to be sympathetic to partners that would not want to go a wholly different creative direction. I think that situation is common and obviously and honestly respectable. What I would offer as a solution, right, is if we're being a little bit more risk averse, I would put into the solution pile a unified brand positioning. So this is essentially 3 to 5 sentence North Star that defines how and why you are different and why clients should choose you. Okay, we're going with more of a traditional, brand assets. We're not changing it too much. Let's make sure that our positioning is super strong.
Yeah,
That would be what I throw in.
It's not like a nuke card we were using on the previous one where we were basically fighting the fire with fire in terms of talking about research and strategy. I'm going to go a similar route to you, Austin. I'm going to go with niche specialization. Okay, so we're going to stick with blue. That's fine. We got to have blue. All right, a very passionate blue partner. And we're going to make it a less blue circumstance with the brand by narrowing their target audience to a specific industry or role to grow faster and become 3 times more likely to have a strong differentiator. So if we are in marketing, which we are, ways that you can make yourself immediately become more apparent or visible is by narrowing your focus. If you do everything for everyone, the generalist approach, marketers hate that. Anybody listening to this podcast who's a pure marketer is going to agree with that type of concept as well. So if we specialize and we develop our differentiators and our messaging around a specific area or in professional services pain point, then we're more likely, according to this, 3 times more likely to have a strong differentiator.
Okay, so something in the positioning realm as well.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of what you both just talked about. So if we've got good positioning and we're differentiating ourselves in the marketplace, I'm going to take those 2 things and bring it to life on the website with a signature quality video to produce high production value stories about your company or case studies to engage the modern watch rather than read buyer. So I think you kind of take both of those things, you can bring it into like a visual approach on the website and can bring it home that way if you're limited in some other areas.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, if you're not going to take, if your company is rebranding or renaming and you're not going to depart creatively too much in the terms of maybe what the logo looks like or what the overall color palette is going to look like, that doesn't mean that you can't have like these additional video assets or creative elements that can bring the brand to life, right? So I like that. It's a good option. All right. So we went more the positioning way. She went video. Which of these, I don't know, which one of these do we feel is the strongest? Who do we want to give this card to?
I mean, I unanimously threw it to Mary Blanche last time, but I'm not as solidly in your camp with the. I do love video, Mary Blanche.
I think it goes to one of the 2 of you.
But I think the idea of positioning and differentiation are always 2 amazing ways of setting an organization apart, even when they have to be blue. Austin, do you like yours better?
I think Mary Blanche is the tiebreaker here. Which one did you like better?
Yeah.
I think I'm going with Austin on this one.
Love it.
Well, good differentiators are built from a positioning statement.
Yep.
Yeah, it all kind of rolls up to that North Star.
That's right. Where's my card?
I'm handing it over to you.
There we go.
There it
all
is.
right.
It's my turn to pick, right?
Yeah, here you go.
This is
pass
getting
over the
harder
bucket.
because we're losing solutions as we
like
go along.
That's right. That's how the game works. We could always reshuffle, but
No.
I think it's more fun to let them dry up.
Yeah.
See what we get. Might get a little wacky at the end.
Okay, this one is the merger mashup. So the company is thinking about smashing two firm names together into an unpronounceable 10-syllable acronym that no one can remember.
10-syllable acronym.
Test.
This is probably one of the sillier options in the bucket.
I love it.
But renaming is a big decision,
It
right?
is.
It's and it's not an uncommon decision. I think we work with a lot of industries like accounting and financial services,
Law firms.
where
They love a long name.
there's a lot of partners. Their names are pulled together. Oftentimes these, come in the form or get condensed in the form of acronyms, but there's a lot of acronyms out there, right?
That's right.
And so for a lot of our clients, I know that we do a lot of exploring in terms of renaming exercises to, through research and, through, secondary research as well to understand like, okay, what a rename, is this the time for a rename? If we're thinking about redoing the website, we're redoing the brand guidelines, is this the time to pivot towards a new name? So what solutions would you guys bring to the table?
This is getting tougher now.
I know.
I can go first, actually.
Okay.
The card that I have, I think maybe is the best card that could help here, is an internal brand launch. A really important part of like a new corporate identity is that your internal people are aligned. So if the decision has been made and we are moving to this new fictional name, it might be too big, I at least want my team to all be on the same page. So I'm going to bring together this internal brand launch and make sure that the team is educated, that they're energized, that we're clear about what our brand values are, and we go for it. So if we can't get around the new name, I want to at least make sure that people are on
Pumped
board
up.
with it. Yeah,
Pumped up
for
with the terrible name.
it. Yep.
All right.
That's my
Pumped up and
solution.
ready to go.
All
right,
Mary Blanche, you got it?
Yeah, I can go next. So I'm going with a small decision maker group.
Okay.
So, you think you bring these two huge companies together, right? That's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. So,
Okay. I
being
like
able
that.
to at least have alignment on this small group of decision makers that hopefully leads them to not a
To not do what they're doing?
acronym.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I like that. I actually did not have I like yours already, Mary Blanche, so I think yours is probably going to be the winner. But I did not have a strategic card, so I'm going to have to deal with the fact that we now have a terrible name. I'm going to have to own it, and I'm going to help people in the marketplace understand it by doing a high-profile interview series with key leaders from the organizations as they come together. So we are featuring these amazing names, and we're going to feature them in the form of video. And we're going to, especially if it's based off founders and things along those lines, we're going to help people in the marketplace understand who they are and what their expertise is. So we'll talk about the niches that they focus on, and we'll help develop credibility and visibility for everybody involved. So at least with our terrible name, we've put some faces to the name and helping us along the way.
Okay. So you and I kind of had to play prevent there. Like we accepted that it's happening.
Damage control is probably a better way of saying
Mary
it.
Blanche is the only one that was like, yeah, we're going to try to stop this before it happens.
not
Let's
happening.
stop this crazy, stupid rebrand. So for that reason, I think I'm going to go with Mary Blanche.
Yeah, I think Mary Blanche is winning this one too.
Thank you, guys. I will happily
right.
take my point and give you the ball, Austin.
I will point out that we're now 3 things in, and I have yet to win a card.
Yeah, it's kind
Which
of the
is kind
theme
of a
for how
recurring
this
theme in this podcast.
Theme of this podcast, right? Okay, so our next branding blunder is called the everything, everywhere, all at once trap.
We're keeping the movie themes going here,
Really
aren't we?
are.
Yeah, we love movies.
Big movie group.
This is where an internal leader is refusing to specialize their brand strategy out of the fear that they could be leaving money on the table, ensuring that the firm kind of remains indistinguishable as a commodity and that cannot command premium fees. So it's a fear-based brand strategy that says like, well, if we specialize, then maybe we're missing out over here. Just real quick, like on that issue, is that common? Do we run into this?
Extremely common.
Yeah, talk to us about it.
Yeah. I mean, this is Mary Blanche used a card in the last one talking about making a decision-making group smaller. And we have already talked about research, and both of those are awesome solutions. But because of this game and the fact we've already burned those cards, we're probably going to have to get a bit more creative on how we overcome this. But the idea here is that you truly can't be everything for everyone. And it's so interesting that we see this a lot of times with websites as well, right? Where every single practice group feels like they need to have their own special sub-site, microsite, or things along those lines. But if you go to some of the largest consulting firms, your PwCs, your Deloittes, things along those lines, their navigations are simple. They're not, I mean, they do everything, right? These are massive groups, but they're not showing that on their forward-facing assets because it gets extremely confusing. It doesn't allow them to stand out. So I would say, it is a common thing that we run into, and it is the type of thing that you do try to nip in the bud in any way you can.
Yeah. Okay, so for the everything, everywhere, all at once trap, Mary Blanche, do you have a card that you've picked out?
I do. I don't have a ton to pick from here, but I'm going to go with the content marketing strategy, right? Because if, they're committed to being everything to everyone, I'm going to want to identify what all the everythings are. And then I'm going to want to build a content strategy around that. So being able to provide a steady stream of useful educational information to build trust and increase both their reputation and their visibility.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm tempted here to kind of play one that just like directly contradicts the card, but instead I'll say that we do a groundbreaking research project is the name of my card, where we conduct an original industry study to become the de facto leader on an emerging issue. So in a sense, like again, if there's internal friction where we are positioning ourselves a little bit more as a generalist, I would at least want to have some research that informs a strong brand strategy, informs strong messaging, and still gets to the heart of like speaking to the right audience, saying the right things that they care about. I think even if, because some companies will be like more generalist, and you mentioned a few of the larger ones and how they do it, you can still kind of lead with messaging and like a brand strategy that speaks to the heart of what the audience is looking for. And I think that's some sort of research forward project can get you there.
Right. So you're in a sense fighting poor branding with strong marketing.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? You've got a piece of collateral or an asset that you can then dissect 100 different ways. Anytime you do some sort of research report, I mean, you can turn a research report into webinars, blogs, newsletters, videos, everything you imagine. So we're creating something that's groundbreaking. I like that. So we've got we've got some marketing tactics to overcome a poor brand strategy. I'm going to complete that trifecta, which will make it interesting for us to decide who wins. But I'm going to lead from the provocative newsletter perspective. Okay, so email is still king in marketing for obvious reasons. Allows us to keep track of our prospects, who's engaging with our content, remarket them in various ways. But we're going to shift from company-centric fluff to industry or multiple industry-focused newsletters that deliver controversial or groundbreaking value. So we're going to try to zig when everybody else zags, or whatever that phrase is, and create some sort of content that allows us to speak to these various industries that, of course, we're everything for, in a way that at least allows us to stand out.
Okay.
Where are you leaning?
I don't know. This is a tough one. We kind of all came at it from a different angle.
All right, I have an idea. We have our intern, Tamika, she's joined us in the studio. Tamika, help us out. Who wins?
Joe?
Yes!
Yeah, okay.
I love
Right.
it.
I was sort of leaning, Joe, your way too, because I think, yours was the most tactical, right? So for marketers that are put in this kind of situation, I think the newsletter strategy is big right now,
Yeah.
especially if you combine it. We haven't really talked about visible experts yet. I'm sure one of you guys is sitting on that card. But having some sort of targeted proactive newsletter like you described, I see as a great strategy to try to, work through.
It's provocative.
Yeah. It's provocative. Yeah.
Gets the people going.
Gets the people going. All right, Joe, you're pulling our next card here.
Yeah, I'm off the
I think we've
zero.
got three. I think we've got room for 3 rounds yet before we might have to reshuffle these cards or something. But I think we got 3 rounds here.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. I have just drawn a card for the ones who are not watching on YouTube. I've been told by Austin that I need to describe things for those that are listening.
Correct. Yes.
That's right. Yes.
This is an audio forward medium as well.
Yes, that's right. The internal proxy war is our branding blunder. So rival practice leaders are using the branding process as a Game of Thrones. No, I added that. As a battleground over firm direction, and they're turning simple strategic decisions into a fight for status that ignores the realities of the marketplace.
This was one of your favorites as we were planning this episode.
Yeah.
What have you seen in this front, like in terms of talking to companies that are thinking about going through this rebranding process? How does this sort of enter the fold?
This almost always will come out in initial conversations with prospects, and this includes when they even deliver a request for proposal style approach to branding. And you can start to read between the lines of why some of the reasons are for the rebrand. It's amazing. You'll know that this is coming before it actually occurs. And in those circumstances, again, prevention is key, because if you allow a rebrand to become a runaway freight train of people's opinions and thoughts, and we talked about strategy and data earlier, it can get sideways real quick. But yeah, this one, it's interesting. You'll hear this in a variety of industries, professional services across the board. You can't help but get a bunch of strong-willed people taking this as their opportunity to leave their mark.
Yeah. Mary Blanche, what are you bringing to the table here? We're down to fewer cards now.
So this is getting challenging.
I am going to have to get a little creative here, but I think the best suited one of what I have left is the vetted feedback loop. I'll read what the card says, and then I'll kind of give my rationale. So, vetted feedback loop, organizing all internal feedback and resolving conflict points of view before sending them to the creative team. So, I think that's what you got to do. You got to find a way that you can organize all of that feedback and all the conflict that's going on back and forth, Game of Thrones, as you say. And once you can really get all those cards on the table, no pun intended, you can really start to work through some solutions.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good answer.
That's going to be hard to beat. Mine I'm picking is going to be secondary market research. So, if you're trying to build alignment, as you described them, amongst a group of strong-willed leaders,
kings,
that are spread out across an organization, you have to speak to them in a way that they can trust and that they can, maybe gather around. So I've got secondary market research. This could be economic data, buyer behavior studies, any kind of data that could validate, if what the right brand strategy or approach should be, to try to just coalesce and build a little bit more internal alignment. Although I can see how that would kind of be difficult. Joe, what do you got?
All right. Well, I think I have a card that potentially could rival Mary Blanche's answer. Okay. And I'm going to designate a single point of contact. I'm going to add who sits on the Iron Throne. And so we're going to assign one person who's going to oversee the large communication basis or process throughout the organization so they can speak directly to the branding partner to streamline the process throughout. And hopefully in that type of circumstance, if we can get single points of contact into place, then the branding partner can in a sense, feed them the information they need to help overcome the warring kings and queens and move the branding process forward in a way that it doesn't become unruly or bloody.
Really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think between both of your answers, you had the two best. If I'm the tiebreaker in this scenario, I'm probably going to go towards Joe.
I think Joe has the better between the two of us.
I think it's just because I started talking about Game of Thrones analogies, but sure.
Well, I know that we recommend this to our clients as they get organized to work with us, whether it be in a rebrand or just like a website redesign, right? Like, who's the point of who is your champion? Who is the internal person who this big initiative is? They're going to take responsibility for it. They're going to be kind of the decision maker. I think without that clarity, like you said, this scenario can really it can become costly too, right?
Yeah,
it's not
red
just
wedding.
It's not just that the output or the end product ends up being suboptimal. It can be costly in terms of, dragging things out, adding things that were not necessarily needed. So I think in that big scenario, like I like your card there.
Brilliant. I love it.
Did I give it to you? Do you have it?
I took
you
it
already
very
have
quickly.
It. Yeah, got it.
Snuck in there.
All right.
All right, so what's the score now? I've got two.
I've got two.
I've got one. So maybe this is my chance to lose.
The great people cliche. So the HR director insists on using exceptional people as a primary differentiator, failing to realize it is a weak, unprovable claim that every competitor makes.
Our people make the difference.
Our people are the best.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, before we get into the answers, what would you say, why is that cliche?
I mean, it's right up there next to we're your trusted advisor in terms of completely tired and useless differentiators. How many times have you seen it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all over the place, right?
Yeah, it's on websites. It's how people talk. It's the first thing that people say when they're describing their organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is if we just were to zone in specific, I know we're going to talk solutions cards, and we've each got a couple left, so this might get kind of creative. But like generally, when companies, and we all do, experts are at the forefront of how we go to market as professional services firms. Mm-hmm. What are ways that we can talk about our people that are more differentiated?
Centering it around their knowledge,
mm-hmm.
right? Like, so instead of saying, our people are what make us different, mm-hmm. explain what your people actually do that mm-hmm. sets them apart.
Yeah.
If you can, we talked about differentiators, right? And you broke it down earlier in the episode. What are the 3 keys again, Austin?
Whether it is true, whether it's relevant, and whether it's provable.
Right. So you take those 3 elements to how we describe someone's knowledge, some mm-hmm. expert's knowledge, and start leading with those types of details versus, our people are super cool. Then suddenly we have something that truly resonates with folks. So I think you can take our people are the difference and morph it. And yep. maybe some of us have solutions cards mm-hmm. remaining, although I don't, that will allow us to speak to that. But I'm interested to see what you guys come up with.
Well, you have perfectly teed me up, Joe, for my amazing
right
solution
in.
card. So I have Visible Expert Program.
Okay.
So,
Well,
if...
we're done.
Game over.
Game over.
Yeah, so deliberately developing high-profile experts to leverage the halo effect, which strengthens the entire firm's brand. So my thought here is, if we're committed to saying that our people are the best, then I'm going to leverage the Visible Expert Program to show them how they are the best and how they are the experts in their field and why they should kind of come work with us.
Okay. Yeah.
This is kind of like apples to apples, right? So I can just waste a card now because Mary Blanche has already won. So what's like my worst card remaining? I'll just try to wax poetic about why it's
okay, I've got a specialized industry conference, which I love a specialized industry
you love a
conference.
good conference.
I love a good specialized industry conference. I'm not sure how I could force that into this answer, but I'm going to throw that on the table.
Keep spinning.
What do you got? What are you sacrificing?
Oh, I wanted to hear you try to explain how that was how we overcame
You're just
it.
going to take
you
all
have
the
great people. You host a conference. You bring
Let people see
in
the people.
and see the people.
Yeah. People
okay,
with people.
No, there's a good answer
There's
in there.
a song there, too, I think. All right. Yeah, I mean, I just got nothing here. So, how do we make our people the difference?
Yeah.
Well, we track baseline metrics
All right,
these people.
Mary Blanche, give her the card.
Wait, you're not going to let me try to explain this?
Go for it. Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
We're establishing clear KPIs. People love KPIs. Mm-hmm. They love ROI. They love acronyms.
Uh-huh.
These all are things that are important.
Yep.
And marketers have to put them together in reports on a quarterly basis.
Yep.
And if we establish them together, we can move ourselves in a direction where our people are the difference in data form.
Okay.
Yeah?
Mary Blanche, you got
right,
this.
yeah.
Mary Blanche gets it. Okay. Which I think might be
for me.
Yeah,
I think she just won.
I think
you just won, but
we still have cards left though, right?
Let's do the last one. I got one card left.
Here's the ball.
I cannot wait to see how you use your one card.
Yeah, let's see. Get real creative here.
Why do you have one card and we have 2 cards?
That's a good question.
This just shows you the prep time that goes into the Spiraling Up podcast. Okay. We have wrong number of cards.
So we're talking about a brand strategy, right? And avoiding these branding blunders. This one is called the content-free Facade.
Oh.
So a company is spending $100,000 on a gorgeous, high-performing website full of custom photography,
pretty
fancy integrations, but neglects to include any thought leadership content required to build trust, improve expertise.
Oh.
Yes, and so I think there's lots of examples of how this can play out, but one thing we hadn't really mentioned, that when we think about branding, we're not just thinking about logos. We're not thinking about brand guidelines, materials. Like a brand is your company's reputation combined with its visibility.
That's right.
And why is this a blunder? I would say mostly because you're limiting the amount of visibility that you can go out there and garner and generate for your company. For many marketers out there, we know how difficult it can be to kickstart and to have a high-performing content marketing strategy, but in the year of our Lord 2026, it is like a necessary thing. But
that's right.
A lot of companies still struggle with getting out a consistent, high-quality content strategy.
Yeah, when we were prepping for this episode, we were looking up examples of large brands who Hinge would never support, right? B2C type corporations and things.
Yeah.
Mary Blanche, you brought up a good example for this. I think it was WeWork.
WeWork, yep.
Yeah, they had a massive branding blunder when they had a failed IPO and leadership had to
2019.
exit.
Yeah.
I think they made a good Apple TV series, or I can't remember what streamer did this on this, but they in a sense had to basically rapidly change what their image looks like. They went with this minimalistic, sleek style website that, while it looked cool, nobody understood actually what was different about it.
Yeah, and it didn't build trust. There was no information. There was no. It was pretty, but
Pretty.
yeah, it lacked substance.
It probably cost more than $100,000 too. I think for our card we only have $100,000, but I would imagine their site probably was a bit more.
So what are you guys going to throw down here for the solution on the content-free facade?
Well, I have the answer.
Oh, jeez.
gosh.
So high performance website is a card, and transform your site into a lead generation machine that focuses on educational content rather than just vibes. It's literally like the
So you
good
have
card.
the answer.
So she has the answer.
The problem was on the table. She had the answer. What did you have, Joe?
Not that. Mine's kind of good, not nearly that good, but a marketing strategy refresh. So we are replacing a tired, outdated, print material-based marketing strategy with digital e-brochures, pitch decks, and meet the expert videos that allow us to build confidence in the solutions that our organization brings for the problems that their clients have. So still not as high performance as Mary Blanche, but I think it kind of scratches the itch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think my card applies that well. Mine is called the sacrifice play. Purposefully walk away from a generalist service line to gain total dominance in a high-value niche. So, if we're going content-free, if we're not going to be marketing with thought leadership content and getting out there, putting our experts out there, building trust, we need to at least position our business then so that it stands out on its own outside of a content marketing strategy. So I take it back to the branding strategy, dialing in on the positioning, getting that completely right, serving a underserved niche, high value niche, and pressing hard into that.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to have a $100,000 business card, at least it speaks to one very important thing.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
That's not a bad answer. You spun that pretty well,
Yeah,
actually.
you did.
That was much better than me trying to... What was the one I just spun? Yeah, never mind. We'll just ignore what I did earlier.
Baseline metrics.
Baseline metrics. Yeah, KPIs. Let's do it.
So, last card giveaway here. I'm inclined to just let Mary Blanche run up the score. Here you go.
She's just...
Congratulations
Oh, thank
to
you.
Mary
Thank
Blanche
you.
winning our Crazy Stupid Rebrands
Crazy
game.
Stupid
Do you
Rebrands.
guys want to hear some of the marketing blunders that
Sure,
we
yeah.
pull?
Let's run through.
Okay, I'll read a couple of these, and maybe we can just talk about why these are issues, and maybe close out with just like a couple of words on if you're going through a rebrand, what would you what would the real process look like?
Let's provide educational content.
Yeah. Okay, so this one is called the ghost launch. So this is when a marketing leader would treat the brand rollout as a technical task, and they would hit publish on a new website without giving the business development or sales team any talking points that they need to explain the new positioning. So like, hey, we need a push through this rebrand process as fast as possible. Focus all on the on the website, the logo, kind of the pretty things that people can see, but you're missing that internal alignment piece, right?
You guys know I'm a huge action movie fan. Also a huge romantic comedy movie fan. I heard Ghost, and I immediately went to the action classic Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, featuring a Tom Cruise in another amazing role. And in that movie, he was given a mission, should he choose to accept it. And so we need to give our teams a mission for them to accept. And that mission is to be able to speak to directly how this new brand is the brand to end all brands. It's the one that's going to solve all of these challenges and problems in a niche and other cards that we've played thus far. So yeah, absolutely. We need to Ghost Protocol our way through. We need to send Ethan Hunt in. He's going to solve it for us, and we're going to make sure that our sales team actually knows what the hell's going on before we launch a website.
Maybe we need to launch like a meta game within the podcast of who can drop the most movie references through the episodes.
Did I win that contest
You
so far?
probably
You
would
would
win that one,
I won
yeah.
that one,
Okay, I'll quickly go through these other options that we had. So this one was the identity first sprint. So this is similar to the one we were just talking about. A team member is demanding cool logo design before the firm has even defined their strategy. Well, we wouldn't really recommend that. We focus on the brand positioning and the strategy.
Well, you talked about what a brand was already, and identity is a way you respond and respect your brand, but not what your brand is.
All right, Mary Blanche, I'm interested in your thoughts on this one. We called this one the kitchen cabinet approach, which is when the leadership team, they're choosing between a few different logo concepts. And so what they do is they send out the 3 top options to the entire staff of the company to see which logo concept they feel like is the best cultural fit. Would you recommend doing that?
Yeah, that's a mistake. That goes back to what I was talking about earlier about having that either. Well, Joe talked about the single point of contact, or like I was talking about the small focus group. But you need to keep a small, tight group of decision makers. So no e-blast of decisions to the entire organization.
To the whole team. Here, Joe, this one is called the disengaged team. This was a branding blunder where we said the project lead, who presumably is managing this rebrand, they allow work, reality to intervene, right? Client work is here, life is hard, things are dragging, and the company falls into a state of limbo where the new brand is never fully implemented.
Yeah, this is what happens when you don't leave a strategy. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a game plan from the jump on how this brand is going to come to play, this is honestly what you'll see happen a lot of times when organizations go identity first. Because, you race to this process where you're like, oh yeah, we've got this new color, we got this new logo, it's great. What do we do now? Right? But like, oh, okay, let's try to backwards compatible all these other pieces into this logo or these colors and things along those lines. It becomes a huge mess. So I think Mary Blanche was just talking to us about smaller decision-making groups, things along those lines. That's another way that you can kind of have support. So if one of the decision makers of this small group is sidetracked for major client issue or things along those lines, the rest of the crew can keep going because they've given each other that type of power.
Well said. Mary Blanche, this one's called the aspirational overload. The visionary founder has created a brand promise so unrealistic that it's not grounded in the firm's daily reality, causing a loss of credibility and trust when the firm fails to deliver.
Yeah, that goes back to the research. So it all starts with research, and if you can stay grounded in those research findings, then you'll be good.
All right, 2 more. So this one is the automation obsession. So an efficiency-driven marketer is using generic AI to write all thought leadership content, to provide unique, high-value insights that cultivate trust and build visible expertise. I think that one's a little self-evident. Our last one is the data hoarder. So a company conducted a massive client research project, but then is allowing internal fear of change to block any actual adjustments to the firm's strategy, rendering the data investment useless.
That's that's an interesting one. So like they did the right thing. They went out and sought insight and information, hopefully from a third-party provider or somebody who can provide that, that neutral point of view in collecting this insight and information. They were handed that data, and then they completely paralysis over what we should do next. I think some of that comes down to the partners you choose to work with you on that type of engagement. How you present findings does matter. Because if you just dump a CSV file on people, I mean, there's people that really love CSV files. Accountants, I'm looking at you. But everybody else, in those types of circumstances, it can get really challenging. So, again, I think that's where having a trusted partner, an advisor, if you will, but working with a group that maybe has some experience in this would help avoid that challenge.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been a lot of fun.
This has been fun.
All the ways that a rebrand could potentially go sideways, but I mean, let's not undermine the fact that any company that is going through some sort of rebrand, that is going through any kind of change to their brand strategy, it's kind of a scary moment, right? And I think that Hinge has written a lot on this topic. We have tons of resources on our website. We can link to those in the description.
We have a rebranding guide. Available for an email.
And so, I think the bottom line here, a couple of the themes that we've underscored, is it's important to choose the right partner.
Yep.
It's important to lead with the research and the brand strategy first, not just jumping straight into designing logos and to doing all the fun stuff, right? We have to have a strong positioning. We have to have a strong understanding of who our audience is. This was fun, guys. I love it. Mary Blanche, thanks for organizing such a great game.
Anytime, yeah.
Well, for all of our viewers and listeners, we hope that you found this entertaining, that you learned a little bit about a rebranding process and kind of the Hinge's perspectives on what we think makes a really strong, clean, great rebranding process, rebranding strategy, brand strategy, all of the above. And make sure you, on your way out, like the video, subscribe, send us your questions. If you have questions, comments,
Yeah, we're doing a mailbag.
ideas,
We're doing a mailbag segment these days too.
mailbag segment questions, send us an email at podcast@hingemarketing.com and we'll get back to you with some feedback. But another great episode. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.